we can feel them going down these tunnels, these underground tunnels, to the boats. We had private tunnels, sort of private boat tunnels in Atlantis that would take us to the canals, and those walls would collapse in on people, or the boats would be gone. And this is a traumatic death that a lot of currently incarnated people in America and Europe experienced. We are replaying the whole Atlantis scenario, but we're doing it softer. We've learned something, you know. We are still acting out with genetics, genetic modification of crops and human beings and animals. We're still going techno, too much technical, trying to replace our hearts and kidneys and create cyborgs and this kind of stuff. We're obviously still messing with the nuclear radiation. God bless Japan with that, But we are playing it out in a less extreme way than happened at the end of Atlantis, and hopefully we're learning. I'm seeing in my future seeing that we will wake up this time, and there's going to be in other words, there's not going to be a giant destruction as occurred with the floods at 10,500 BC, the last destruction. And the prediction of fire this time, complete nuclear annihilation, is just not going to happen. There's going to be, anytime the people, the beings, if you will, the people that want to control and run the whole world, the Illuminati type scenarios, they are simply not going to succeed. And actually, I have a good authority from a person I spoke with about this up in Sedona. It's kind of a famous guy, but I'm not going to mention his name because it was in private. But where there's inside the Illuminati as well, there are factions that know this is a dead-end game for them, and that they do want to, shift over into at least surviving for them, because the Earth is going to win. The Earth is going to win. You can't beat the Earth and the Sun. That Father, Son, brother, Sister Moon, or whatever St. Francis says, Mother Earth, Father, Son is going to win. It's stupid to try to fight that. It's just ridiculous,
Right. Now since you brought them up, the World Management Team.
There you go. Right.
There's a lot of stuff on the internet about the earthquake in Japan and being caused by those guys, and for whatever reason, and not to get too deep into conspiracy theories and all that, but even if that is the case, it's still something that needs to play out for that area of the world. Right?
I would agree with that. No, I always tell people, there's no power that any, quote, dark cabals have unless it's been given to them by you, by us.
By agreement.
Because we are children of the source, sons and daughters of God. Don't you know you are God's, Jeshua ben David says, Jesus Christ. And every teacher says that. They're always saying, look, you have it within you, and the kingdom of heaven is within you. And that's really what my interest is now. I love all the understanding of the larger things, but that's the alchemy process and the inner body awakening. It's like God was very clear with me a year and a half ago. He said it's time for just practical, easy techniques for individuals, because that's really the most powerful thing we can do to help save the catastrophes from the earth, and help save your family and save your pets and save everything. The most powerful thing we can do is to really help tune ourselves. Some of us spend more time tuning our cars, than we do tuning ourselves. And some of us spend more time, dealing with a tartar on our teeth than we do with a soul tartar inside our own selves, right? So, yes, but no, so the only thing that the World Management Team, I like that way of saying it, in a sense, I had a sympathetic, empathetic, I was looking at, I guess, John, who's the current Rockefeller in charge? I forget his name. Of the Chase, their holdings. His brother. Yeah, David, right. And isn't Lawrence the brother that was meeting with Hillary Clinton, and they got a picture of her carrying a book about ETs? Have you heard about that?
No.
They were walking on Lawrence Rockefeller's Wyoming ranch. You can Google it, I think. And there's a U of A professor, I believe, or ASU, who has written this book about ETs. And she was seen carrying that book in her arm as they're walking together over a bridge. So there's an obvious discussion going on between people in high places about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so all that plays out, and I could have empathy and sympathy for David Rockefeller when you read that stuff about the New World Order and all that. From their perspective, they're trying to save the planet from chaos and destruction.
Sure.
See, yeah, they're trying to go, look, we have these masses of people that are basically, from their perspective now, uneducated, don't know how to control their emotions and feelings, and if we just took the law away, they would create anarchy and chaos, you know. So from their perspective, they're trying to keep an established order, a peaceful economic order. And in a sense, I understand how they feel. But so if we could have empathy and understanding for them, that is the best way of dissolving any potential horrible controlled microchip population scenarios. Saint Germain is a ascended master teacher. One of the ascended masters, if you research him, he was active in the courts of Europe for over 200 years. He survived in his physical body for over 200 years and act in the Spanish, French, German. He was trying to help orchestrate so there wasn't full-on destruction there. And he did start. Now I'm telling some stuff. I guess I can tell it. Sure. He started the Illuminati.
Mm.
And it was an organization for good. But like everything else, it gets co-opted. Just like in Egypt, the Great Pyramid was an initiation chamber of the highest caliber ever created on this planet by Thoth, the Atlantean. Mm-hmm. At the end of Egypt, however, it turned horribly dark and black magic and all kinds of soul control. So it's that normal trajectory of good intentions, and things start out with beautiful, and the higher consciousness it starts, in a sense, the more corrupt it can get. Doesn't that make sense with the law of yin and yang? So, but Saint Germain, I was going to tell something about it, but he's really good at erasing people's minds. But that's probably go ahead.
He started the Illuminati.
Yeah, he did. But there was something I was going to share else about him. Well, anyway, master teachers, these are the ascended masters, and they're helping us massively. No, I got that erased. I'm sorry. But the Illuminati today, here's what it was. We were doing a seminar one time, and then one of the participants and I were doing this particular technique we do, and we entered that place where you go into total cosmic laughter, where everything is just ridiculously funny, you know, where you've had those moments in life when it's so absurd, the whole thing is nuts, and you just laugh till you cry, right? We were in that space. It's sort of like that laughing Buddha. That's what he's doing. He's like, yes, it's incredibly screwed up, and everybody is lost from God, but there's this horribly ridiculous funny cosmic joke going on. So we were in that space, and Saint Germain showed up in subtle body, and the Illuminati came up, and we felt this love, in a sense, this appreciation, but that agape love, that non-judgment place for what the Illuminati are doing. And Saint Germain got so excited, he got enthused, the old Greek word full of God, entheos, that we were doing that. And he said, that's the way to undo them. That's the way you undo them. Judge not, lest you be judged. You love them, but you can't fake it. So you got to hit that space for real. And in a sense, I realized later the reason he liked that, and I am like the little kid who says this stuff I shouldn't say, but I don't care anymore much. You know, it's time to say all of it. That's why he loved it, is because he started it, and he's got to clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be part of cleaning it up. So he was showing us, if I can get you guys, you know, from a spiritual perspective, sort of appreciate their intention of trying to create an ordered world, and not, if you hate them, you feed them. If you hate them on an electromagnetic level, you actually feed them energy that gets twisted and used. You understand?
Sure.
Denial feeds on hate or anger or fighting them. It's not like that scene from Ben-Hur, the movie Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston, where he gets captured and enslaved, and he's rowing on a Roman galleon, you know, and he's been a very powerful man from the land of Judah, you know, Judah Ben-Hur. Mm-hmm. And one of the Roman officers from another ship, captain, comes down, and he's walking around whipping the guys rowing, and then he whips Ben-Hur one time, and Ben-Hur just straightens up his back with this power, this disdain, this hatred at the officer. And the officer looks at him and goes, "Good, hate me. You'll serve me better." Mm-hmm. And there's some truth to that. So if you end up in conspiracy land where you hate this stuff and you want to fight them, you're actually feeding them and exacerbating the problem. It is bringing your own anger out. Again, in order for a virus to thrive, it needs to have meat to feed on. Maggots only appear if there's dead meat to feed on. They disappear otherwise, you know?
Yeah.
And